Hey guys, so last year we tried to make it into the top 1,000, which we
Mm.
fell quite short of. And at NRL Fanta, we believe you should play to your strengths. So this year we're going to try and make the worst possible NRL fantasy team. Um, and that means we're going to be trying to lose as much cash as possible.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually quite tough having like a quick look at this and getting in a full side in. So you see how we kind of obviously get around that by including some sort of cheapies in. But yeah, no, it should be
Oh shit.
oh, the actual team is there.
Yeah. Hopefully, our real teams aren't the worst possible team. But yeah,
Yeah,
like
oh, starting off with Hooker though. Um I actually forgot who we were kind of keen on here. Ah, that's right. That's right. Big Pete. Big Pete. I mean, obviously the trend with these sort of guys, all right, is obviously we want guys who probably started last year and now on the bench, clearly.
yeah,
Um,
that's the trend I think we're going for with most players. I'm just going to keep rolling through them while you explain, I guess, our strategy.
yeah, well, I mean, obviously, like our first sort of like ideas of having some big guns and like big guns in to obviously to actually be able to lose cash. But the problem is though is that we got like going halfway through the bench and who had like no money left, so I had to kind of like rethink our plans a little bit. But there's clearly some guys in here, like obviously Murray as well, who just isn't going to play big minutes at the start of the year, and hopefully should drop like 100 to 150, ideally. I
Yeah,
think, yeah,
I think the big thing is the further we go along, the less and less cash we have.
yeah,
It's actually going to be
that is the
harder.
issue.
It's going to get harder to start losing more and more. Um, so I think maybe we should try set a goal for how much we drop to. We start at 10 million. I think if we can drop, I don't know what's realistic, but I think if we can
I
drop to
think eight's,
seven
surely eight's possible. Oh,
or
seven, yeah.
7 or 8, I think anywhere below that starts to get really tricky.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, it also buys and sells will become pretty obvious. It'll just be based on who has high and low break evens. If any of our players do really well, they'll be out as soon as possible. And
Just
then we're
like
also,
just like Seibolds Dream.
yeah, yeah. The team name is where is it?
Just
Seibolds Dream
above.
Team. We're allowed to say it because we're Manly fans and we hate Seibold. Well, hate's a strong word. We're not winning a premiership with
It's like
Seibold. Cherry Evans. Yeah, and the fun thing that we're going to do is we're going to select our captain based on who we think is going to be the worst cash loser for the week. Um,
yep.
and you think that's going to be Connor Watson this week?
I've got a good feeling. Good feeling. I mean, I think Cam Murray's a fair shout as well. Just because I reckon he'll like probably only play like 40 to 50 minutes at lock.
Yeah, I think it's hard. I think Mamazelis could lose quite a lot just because he'll be coming off the bench. Same with Bateman, who will get into the team shortly.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, like first round's so tough though, because obviously, Price said like a 50. You score a 40, you're only like really losing 10K. So this will it's probably a lot more fun when players have like break evens of 80 and I'm bringing them in and that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I guess this team will probably change quite a lot as the team list come out next week. But even just thinking on the spot now, I'm wondering if it's almost worth trying to have some cash left over, just so we can pivot quickly to some of these players maybe that have really shit break evens after the first week. I think that's something we'll consider. But
Mm.
obviously, we're going to lock in the players that are playing in Vegas, which is Kickout and Hayward. I'm pretty keen on Hayward being bad, which is a bit embarrassing because at the beginning of the season, I actually was considering him putting in my proper team.
I mean, I think some people still are. So that's probably
Yeah.
more hurtful towards them than anything else.
Yeah. If any of you have actual players here, in your real teams, I think you need to maybe reconsider, what you're doing with your lives.
I mean,
Um,
the two Dogs boys in Kick Out and Hayward are probably the most contentious ones, really. But again, I think it's it's a bit of a prediction as well, and kind of how teams might shape up. And like obviously, if Hayward is just shit in real life, he's going to get less minutes than we think anyway, and then score even less. So it's possible that he goes down like below 300 really.
Yeah, I think it's just a really bad PPM. Um,
Mm.
but you never know, I guess. Okay. See on Watson, and then who do we reckon is going to be the second worst or second best, however we want to put it? I think Latrell has an
Latrell, yeah, it's a good
opportunity.
shout.
Um,
Um, maybe
Probably.
Garrick.
Oh, Garrick scares me though. I think Garrick scares me probably the most out of all these players here. He could definitely come out and score just like a naughty hat
Mm.
trick. Um,
Got Brimson against the Sharks.
I think Latrell. I think Latrell or Cam Murray makes the most amount of sense. Maybe Bateman. Um, but we're not even sure if he's going to
Oh,
be getting minutes.
mm. I mean, Batman is a great shout as well,
Maybe
but
we
obviously
should.
he's not been in the starting team.
We can change that. All right, we'll leave it at this for now. And
Yeah,
that
I
leaves
mean,
us with only 10,000.
it's actually probably like a pretty tough year to start doing this because of the six-man bench now. Whereas last year, obviously, you know, like someone's going to play like probably at least 10 minutes, but now, yeah, guys will just sit on the pine
Yeah.
uh, and lose no cash at all. So,
Yeah, I guess that means you get lucky with maybe a 18th or 19th man that comes on for like 10
mm,
minutes and then loses a lot of cash, but that's hard to predict, I guess. But
yeah.
anyway, here's our team. Not to be confused with the next slide we're going to show, which is our actual team, but watch this space. We're going to hopefully lose lots of money this round. Keen to see how this goes. All right, let's start with yours, and then
Oh, my team.
we'll get to the better team at the end, I think.
Oh, of course, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, look, our teams are very similar, and the reality is going into the season, you're going to end up with a pretty similar sort of template for the best kind of players. Yeah, I think both of us are pretty keen. Well, actually, obviously, I'll leave your team to you, but I was keen on guys like Simkin and Marnie for quite a while. But I just think like the security you get with Grant, and also as well, like the actual cash we ended up having, well, I ended up having spare at the end is was quite a bit, and I think I still have like 200k spare in this team, which might change if I have to go and buy like a mid-range center. Um, but yeah, so going from Marnie to Grant kind of just made sense, and it just locks in that spot for the to around 12. I guess like other points of difference is Chance down at fullback. And just so looking at his stats, he's like the last 3 years playing 4 games at fullback, I think his base stats it's like 30. And so priced at 37, I kind of just like the value there. And I think it's pretty safe. I mean, I know he does get a few HIAs and injuries, but if you can avoid that, they should have pretty like soft kind of first 5 rounds. So I mean, I think he's what like 1%, yeah, 1.4% owned, which is super low considering the kind of player that he is. Like he's not fully locked into my side, but I think I'm pretty keen though, and I think he's actually probably better than well, could be better potentially than like a Jai Gray. And then apart from that, I mean, I think everyone else is sort of fairly stock standard. Obviously, I've gone for Haas and Cleary just to sort of negate any sort of like potential things going wrong. You know, if one of them goes injured, you have the other one the captain. Cleary, obviously, as we know, is probably one of the best players in fantasy history, and so not owning him is just a bit of a scary thought. Yeah, and I see that the bench is just kind of full of cheapies. Hopgood as well, gets a bit of a pod. Man, I bought him last year at 730k, so want to buy him at 597k.
Yeah, that's
It's
valid.
it's kind of my thought there. But I think that's kind of my main sort of odds and sort of team thoughts. So, go to yours.
Yeah. So I was also looking at Chance, but I have opted to go for Reece Walsh instead. I think
Mm,
just the consecutive 90s he got at the end of the year has made me sort of FOMO into him. I guess it's a high risk, high reward, but a lot of people are doing it. So I think it makes sense. But likewise, I have pretty much the same big four, big five. You know, Harry Grant, Haas, Yo, Cleary. I think there's so many mid-range values here that it makes sense to get all of these players in. Um, the only other difference, I think, like you said before, our teams are pretty similar. I still have Capewell at center, which I'll possibly look to change to the Titans cheapie if he gets the center duel.
Yep.
But I also have Tim Duncan, which I don't believe you do. And then
Nope.
who else do I have? God, it's really similar. You have Hopgood. I don't know.
I think it's just Duncan Walsh and Capewell.
Yeah, it's really
So
close.
yeah.
But yeah, on my side, I changed things up a little bit recently. I was also going with Reed Marnie. I decided against him, went for Grant just with all the Storm injuries and outs, particularly with Pappenhausen and injuries on Hughes looming. Um, yeah, I think Hamish Stewart, I think, is a better option than Ryan Couchman and Toby Couchman. He's got a great PPM. And then I also think that Atkinson's a bit of a trap. I believe that his kick
Mm.
meters in the preseason won't accurately portray his kick meters in the regular season. But if that's incorrect, and if he does come out and score big points, I'll be quick to jump onto him. I won't sort of shy away from rejecting that I made a mistake. I think it'll be fine. And then Dylan Brown also I wasn't too keen on until I saw he was named at number 7 with Fletcher Sharp next to him, which makes me think he's going to do a lot of kicking. So I think he's also a he's a must-have now, pretty much.
Yeah, I think for like both of us, we had him in most of the preseason, then we took him out like a week or two ago. But then yeah, after seeing his trial game and then seeing these TLTs now, like I think it's just kind of just, I mean, like obviously it's just more safe to have him than not.
Yeah, but it is a little bit concerning because I feel like a lot of teams are very similar at the beginning this year. And at the end of the year, obviously, the teams that come first aren't going to be always going with the crowd. So it'll be interesting to see who the
Mm.
pods are that no one sort of picked up on. I think having people like Chance is a good punt to take. I like, for example, having Duncan. I think Duncan's being slept on a little bit. I'm not sure what his ownership is, but it's definitely lower than a lot of these other players. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see after round one who the pivots are. This year, I'm going to be aggressive in switching over to people that I think I should. I'm not going to hesitate.
Yeah, I think that's definitely probably like the main focus, right? Like obviously you spend the whole preseason like making teams and kind of getting like attached to players. But then the reality is though, like people would just make the wrong choice. And so yeah, just being able to switch early, trade out guys who you thought might be good, but ultimately like, we're not going to know how good some players are until they actually go out there and play and see their roles and see their minutes.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the three worst NRL fantasy teams. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you tune in for the next one. Yeah, looking forward to losing some money in some accounts and winning some money in others. Hopefully, the right way
Potentially.
around, potentially.
Mm,
All right.
cool.
Farewell.
Thanks, guys.